Hey, it's Akhtar from Reaching Excellence. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about what is cash flow and why is it important in your business. So stay tuned. Okay, so what is cash flow and why is it important? So cash flow, and this is super important, okay? Any business that you have, you need to manage cash flow. So what is cash flow? Cash flow is money coming in, money going out, and how much money is left at the end, okay? This is super important because there's a lot of businesses out there that can run for a very long period of time, months and even years being not profitable or running at a loss, but you can't run for long if you haven't got cash flow, okay? It's that simple. So what is cash flow? So cash flow is money coming in versus money going out. And the key thing we have to remember here is that this is a skill set. This is something that needs to be managed. So let's say, for example, you're a landlord, okay? You've got a rent that's due in on the 1st of the month, okay? And the mortgage might go out towards the end of the month, okay? So you want to make sure you get that money in, and then it's there sitting in the pool of funds that you've got ready to pay the mortgage going out, okay? If it doesn't come in and you haven't got enough money there, you're not going to pay your mortgage, you're going to come a cropper. But what happens if the tenant doesn't pay on time? What happens if they're delayed or they're late? What happens if they've got into financial difficulties? It's really important that we manage our cash flow so that we've got a pot of cash so that when some money comes in, we can let some money go back out, okay? So there's lots of different ways that you can manage cash flow. One of the things that we see, like whenever we go out to see distressed sellers, whether it's someone who has got into a financial situation, needs to sell their property, whether it's a landlord that's distressed and got a distressed portfolio, or even if it's a business, because we do mergers and acquisitions, we buy businesses with commercial property. Whenever we see a business that's got distressed, it's normally because there is a cash flow problem. There's a cash flow management problem. It's not been managed properly. This is a money skill that you need to have, okay? So what happens is people sometimes just don't manage things properly. They don't time things up. They don't keep an eye on it. Sometimes with these businesses, the entrepreneurs are busy or they've just taken their eye off the ball. This is something that you need to manage. You've got to keep your eye on the ball with this, because if you don't, you're going to come a cropper. So it's simply about managing what comes in, what's due, when does it need to go out, and how can we keep as much money in the account as possible. So look, there's many different apps and accounting software and bits and pieces that you can get that will help you with this and predict, but there's nothing simpler than an Excel spreadsheet. You just simply need to put in what's coming in, when is it due, when's something going out, and how much money can we keep in the bank account. As long as you've got that spreadsheet, it will help you time and predict, and as long as you're managing it, you can keep on top of it, okay? It's really simple, and it's something that is a fundamental skill that you need to do, because if you don't have that cash flowing through your business, you're not going to be able to pay suppliers, you're not going to be able to pay your staff, you're not going to be able to pay mortgages and any other associated costs, and it's going to be tricky for you. You're going to sink, and especially if for a landlord, if you've got tenants that aren't paying, it's going to cause you a cash flow issue. The other thing that I see, which is a mistake a lot of people make, is they get an invoice come in and they pay it straight away rather than holding on and paying it when it's due. So you might have an invoice that's due, but it might not be due for 30 days. Pay it in 30 days, The reason I say that is because you're going to keep more cash in your account, and then you can hold on to that pool of funds, and it's super important that you can do that. That way you make sure there's a pool of funds, so money comes in and money goes out. You're just keeping that well topped up, and it's just a simple but really important fundamental cash flow management skill that you need to have. Either you need to do this yourself or get someone in your team or hire someone who can do this for you, but you need to know what's coming in, what's going out, and keeping that cash flow flowing nicely through your business. You also need to make sure you take out things that are hemorrhaging cash. Often there's people who've got subscriptions to things and unnecessary cost. It's important that you go through and you review this. In our business, we do this on a monthly basis. We have our bookkeeper and our accountant go through the accounts, what's come in, what's gone out, what's hemorrhaging, what needs to be checked and what needs to be kept an eye on, because you can't manage what you don't monitor. So you have to monitor your finances. Just to give you an example, we went out and looked at a business that was for sale recently. Was interested in buying this business, owned some property with it. When we looked at the books, by the time the seller realized that they were in trouble, it was like when they did their end of year accounting. They did their end of year accounts. They realized there was things that were hemorrhaging money that just took them off course. They weren't managing their money properly. They didn't have the right systems in place or the right people or the right practices, and that's what happens. This is also what happens with people who become distressed, distressed sellers. They just don't know how to manage money. They don't manage cash flow. Same with distressed portfolio landlords. Sometimes they get distracted to other things going on. So this is a really a skill that's fundamentally important, whether you're in property, whether you're running a business or an entrepreneur, is managing your cash flow. So do me a favor, guys, put in the comments some of the challenges that you might have had with cash flow management, or some of the tools and things that you might have. If you've got any tips, please share them. If you've got any other questions, please put those in the comments and I'll make another video around this. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video. Take care. Bye for now.